Hey guys.
I'm gonna say it from now on so that you know going forward.
Now let's cocktails with Curt.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with Cocktails with me.
Curt
And
Mark.
he's here too if you want to ask him any questions.
So anyways, guys, next topic. A lot of times people say, do you guys just do home buying services? Because I actually have a house to sell. Well, the good news is
We do.
And actually, you might have seen a couple of our listings last year. So if there's any investors out there, if there's anybody that is into flipping the houses and
wait
is
a
a
minute.
good agent.
Wait. But we don't have to go back last year. Why didn't we talk about the listing that we have now that went under contract in 3 days?
Yeah,
So
3 days.
we're good at listing and buying and selling. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so we definitely do that. We kind of, get together and let's just talk about some of the things that we're gonna do to help them prepare to actually list their house. What's the very first thing that we're gonna look at in the system to kind of determine the price?
Well, if someone's calling us, they want us to tell them, or they want us. Usually what happens is, to take a step back. A seller has an idea in mind of what they think,
right,
the house is worth,
right.
And sometimes facts are aligned to that thinking, but sometimes the harsh reality is it's not.
And that's hard for a lot of people because they've invested and they've raised their family or they've lived there a certain time. But one of the things that we are going to look at is what we're going to pull are
the comps. And basically what that tells us is what has sold. And usually we try to stick to a 1 to 2 mile radius, right? Just as, be as accurate as possible.
If it's like in a subdivision, you start there, right?
Yeah, you want to see what has sold within the last 6 months to maybe a year if you needed to get, more comps that way.
And what are comps?
Comps are basically
like if you have 4 bedrooms, you have to have.
Yeah, it's basically taking the unit.
Bedroom.
It's the unit that you're trying to sell, and you're looking at what else has sold that's comparable to your unit. So if you have 4 bedrooms, what other 4 bedrooms within a 1 to 2 mile radius that has similar features and square footage as your unit? What has that sold for? So that's
right.
So
and then also when you're also looking at the comps, it doesn't tell the whole story, right? It's like, what did you put into the house? Like there could be a house that's right next door that just did like $25,000 worth of renovations. So you cannot expect to get the same price if yours has laminate counters and busted, cabinets, and the next house has,
not even that, but one of the common things that I know we get, and it's a tough conversation when we do meet with our clients that list with us, is they've maintained the house very well.
Right.
They may have been there for 10, 15 years. The house is still, the bones are still good, the structure's still strong. And they feel like, well, it's just as good as new, so they should be able to get top dollar to what's on the market now. And what we have to tell them is that it's not just about maintaining the bones of the house, but you really need to keep up with the trends of what's been going on. So
like a popular color a couple of years ago was probably brown, right? And then we've seen, right, even when we bought our house, it was the trend.
And now, it's gray, it's white cabinetry, there's all
stainless steel
appliances. Right. So there's all these things that when we meet with, clients, or
they're going to ask our suggestions. Yeah.
And we walk their property with them, and we just say, hey, you have to be open to what we're saying. You don't have to go with us, but be open to the ideas of what we're suggesting, because we know what buyers, because we work with so many of you guys, we know what buyers are looking for. So we now kind of use that as our strategy when we're listing homes, to say we know what the buyer, what would make this house sell faster.
Let's use that as an example for our last listing, which, as he said, went under contract in 3 days. Could we cheer to that?
We sure can.
Not many agents can do that, right? But what made that successful was we actually sold their house, obviously, or went under contract in 3 days, but they were also buyers that we helped buy a new home. Yeah. They had used this property as a rental property and also as an Airbnb. And they said, hey, Curt and Mark, can you walk the property with us and give us your suggestion for us to get top dollar and off the market as fast as possible? Because, nobody wants to pay 2 mortgages if they don't have to. So I remember we walked the property and we were like, hardwoods are really, really nice. They're real, but they need to be, they need to be refurbished. Yeah. So having that seller that's open to like, you're actually going to have to a lot of times spend money to get it list ready.
I always say this when we meet with our sellers. Excuse me. You know how many of these I probably had. Anyway, I always, what I try to tell them is that you can take our suggestions now in terms of what buyers want, or you can go through the process and list the house and realize you're going to pay for it later anyway, because you're going to get the feedback from the buyers that we've already given you. So when
in the form of like an allowance, right? They're going to say like, they might even present an offer, because sometimes as a buyer, we talk about this all the time. What are things that you can change? Paint, appliances, carpet. But a lot of times, what makes a difference between a house selling or just sitting?
If you don't have to do that,
right?
If the house is so turnkey,
you could just
move in, and
I don't have to refurbish these floors.
Right.
I don't have to.
It looks great, or at least it looks good enough
right.
to meet my needs now. And while I'm here, if I want to change it later, I can. But it's no sense of urgency.
Right.
So when we list homes, I think we try to put our clients in that position so that their home is listed and it's sold, because we're not in the business of just having the house sit. Like, if you come to us to list your home, that means you want to sell the home.
Right. And also, like, some of the factors, and one of the things that really helped as well is sometimes when a house is vacant, it's cool. It's people could kind of, think about how they're going to set up the room. But what really helped in this last situation is they actually staged the property. And what does staging mean?
So staging means you basically, every room is furnished, or every room is set up and designed in a way to give that potential buyer a glimpse or an idea of what that space could look like if they were to purchase your house.
And as an example too, like what really helped it is like people couldn't, for some reason, envision when it was vacant, when we were thinking, we were just getting feedback from people like, what did you think about this before we officially listed? They just they're like, oh, where would I really set up my couch, right? To look at the TV. So, but there's actually staging companies that do this. It's like not the seller that owns this furniture. They kind of rent it.
It's like rented furniture, but what you're doing is you're telling a story, right? You're giving a potential buyer, like I said, a glimpse into what that space could look like. Even if they're not going to obviously have or use that same furniture, they now can see the space in a way that's different than if they just walked in and it was empty.
It was empty, yeah. It really does make a difference. Another factor, we talked about comps, pricing it right, having it clean, obviously, having it staged. Another factor could be the time of year that you list a house, right? Because down here in Georgia and Atlanta, schools are getting out right around this time, around the April, May time frame. Well, really May, but people tend to put their house on the market in preparation for the end of the school year.
And then schools resume in, I think, the first week in
August.
Goes back the first week.
So inventory gets, if it's a good house, it's going to get scooped up.
So the time of year is always, and I think always important. I think, I like to say we can sell anything any time of year.
And we sold another one in December before the holidays.
We can sell it even faster if it's peak season.
Yeah, so it's just like selling a house is about preparation, meeting with us, getting our feedback, you investing the money to help get it sold, and that means staging, painting, carpeting, flooring.
Just taking the suggestions. Just taking our suggestions.
Because, like I said, we will list it for you, but we are picky about who we list with. You also have to. We don't want our reputation. We want the reputation of these guys get it done, because we have a big social media presence. We have marketing background.
Well, I think the way I like to, even when we have our interviews with our clients is if you come to us, we want to sell the home. We don't want to just list it.
Yeah.
You can go to a lot of other agents, and listing it's out there in FMLS. If some buyer wants it, they want it. If not, it's out there in FMLS. With us,
if you want it sold,
come. I mean, yes. I mean,
to Great Homes.
So, but what that means, taking our suggestions and executing on those, and
Yeah. So there's no really other choice. But yes, we do sell homes as well. So call us, DM us, schedule a consultation. We'll come and take a look.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Cocktails with Curt. Keep watching and sharing.